afternoon. Welcome to Meets Rod Shop. I'm Jason. Just doing a quick video today. What we're doing today is we're going to work on the turn signals on my daughter's 64 Falcon. These little front turn signal marker light buckets, they slide into the front bumper. And the problem I'm having is they don't get a good ground anymore because they're kind of rusty and old, and the sockets are real corroded. So we're going to replace the socket, but we're going to replace it with a 3-wire unit, so the ground actually will come off of a ground wire built directly into the back of the plug versus coming off of the bucket itself. So it won't be a long video, and I will apologize for the sound quality. It is hotter than Hades here in Atlanta right now. It's hotter than Walt Flanagan's dog. I've got fans going in here, so you're probably going to hear some fan noise. I apologize for that, but I tell you, I'm a fat guy and I just don't do good in the heat, so I got to have these fans running. But shouldn't be a long video. We're just going to walk you through how I fix this real quick. It's cheap, it's simple. You could do this for pretty much any, you can do it for a taillight bucket if you want. You can do it for turn signals, but I'll show you what I use, just a couple dollars worth of parts to fix the problem. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this is a turn signal bucket we're working with, and you can see how the factory just squeezes in and pinches in a light socket here, and it turns and it's full of rust. And if you look in here, the inside is real rusty too. I've tried getting it clean, but it just won't work. So what I do first is I take my electric angle grinder here. What I do is I cut that plug off flush, and then the plug will fall out from inside here. And then what I'll do afterwards is I get these 3-wire units off of that Rock Hard Auto or something like that. Must be that workout place online or whatever that sells car parts stuff. But I install one of these little plugs here. You got a wire for your ground, you got a wire for your turn signal, and you got a wire for your running light. And there's lugs in here that you can see, and I'll put a little picture in here later, where I cut off the lugs and I'll remove this little rubber seal. And then all I do is I just epoxy it back into that headlight bucket, or excuse me, that turn signal bucket in the back side here after I clean it up a little bit. And then you wire in a separate ground and it's good to go. So make sure whenever you're running a die grinder or something, a cheek poker or eye gouge or whatever you want to call them, make sure to wear your safety goggles. You don't want to lose an eye. So I got my safety eye material here. We're going to go ahead and put these on. We're going to cut that plug apart. All right, so as you can see, we've got the plug out. You can see it's hollow now. So what I do is I take a washer about the size of the correct size of that turn signal socket, and I'll center it right over where I need to go, and then I'll just trace it. That way I know how much material to remove from around my turn signal bucket. You don't want to trim too much, and you do want a little bit more material gone than just a hair size, just as we call a CH over the size of that turn signal bucket. So you can see where I've marked it. Now I'm going to take my die grinder and I'm going to grind this hole out a little bit. Now that I've got the hole ground down or opened up, you got to take these nipples off the side of this, because you're going to epoxy this in, so it's not going to be able to turn and twist out. You can cut it, not this, but cut the bucket to where it will snap in like normal. But to me, it's just easier. Just take the lens out, the 2 screws if I got to replace these bulbs. So I'll put a picture of the nipples I'm cutting off with the die grinder here in a second. All right, so now I've got the nipples cut off of this plug. I've got this hole ground down and it fits. So that plug will just go ahead and snap into there. And what I end up doing, like I said, I'll clean up the back a little bit with a die grinder, clean off the burrs, clean off the rust, and then I'll just epoxy that in there. And now you've got a plug that's good to go. It will accept your new bulb, and it's got new wiring, and it works like new. All right, you see I got the standard 1157 end plug or bulb in there. And so once I put some epoxy on here, she'll just fit right on her, she'll lock in, and we're good to go. Let's go ahead and get some epoxy put on this. All right, so I got my epoxy. I'm using JB Weld. You can use Scotch Weld, JB Weld, you can use double bubble, whatever you got. Just put it on there, make sure it goes in, make sure you got good squeeze out, twist it a little bit, and then I always kind of run my finger over the epoxy. That way it'll just looks a little bit cleaner, but it'll wrap it around the edge of the plug and help hold it in there a little bit better. But that's it. Just let it sit, seal up, and you're good to go. Wire it up, stick it in the car, you're done. Well, that's it for Meets Rod Shop. Just a real quick video, quick how-to, and I'll take a picture or put the part number in somewhere in this video here of the plugs I used. I can't remember, like I said, if I got it off of that Rock Hard Auto or if I got it off of Amazon, that Brazilian place. But anyway, I'll put the part numbers of the sockets I used. I'm sure if you're doing this, you probably know how to look up your own socket anyway. But this works with just about any light socket. Just a little bit of ingenuity and epoxy, which is just as good as zip ties in my world. But these will work good on this car, and I didn't have to go out and buy new light buckets, even though mine were all corroded. Saved me a couple bucks. I spent maybe $10 on 2 plugs, and I already had the epoxy. That's it for Meets Rod Shop. I appreciate you checking out this video and checking in. There's going to be more to come from the 64 Falcon coming up. It's about to be on the road. I got more on the wrecking ball coming up. I ordered my rear sway bar bracket, sway bar setup from Maximum Motorsports. It's been back ordered, so hopefully it'll ship this coming week. I started work on my son's 65 Galaxy. I dropped an engine and trans in there. So I got that coming along. We're hopefully going to start sanding and painting that. And I got my 70 Mach 1 running. For those of you who've been watching, I did get the engine and trans put in there. I videotaped it and somehow lost the videotape. I don't know where it went. I guess probably where all your left socks go. But anyway, that car is running and driving. We're going to be doing a cooling upgrade on that coming up. I ordered a couple of electric fans for the car, so we're going to put some electric fans on that Mach 1. But this 64 Falcon, we'll throw these turn signal buckets in and we'll be done. Got to get the windows in that car, and then hopefully we can start driving it. But again, thank you for checking in. Like, subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a good day, and remember, keep your head up and your stick on the ice.